So we have Library 111 online, and it's been online since 1996. So we have revised it over the years, but obviously the world has changed quite a bit, and we decided that there was all of this great media out there, and how could we better get students to understand difficult concepts. So the design of the grant was that, obviously we wanted to figure out what the things were, what the concepts were that students were weak on. And this was a group of librarians, Judy Capurso, Judy Kuhns, Sherry Gerstung, and 2 faculty members, Nick Lynchard and Nicola Harris, were our reviewers. So it was a good group. And I think it was Judy Kuhns who had the idea that our exams are given in Angel so that we could use the item analysis and figure out which concepts were weak. And we compare Fall 10 to Fall 12, and then we were going to identify media that address those concepts and insert it in all of the online classes. And at one point we did talk about designing the media ourselves, but that was just unrealistic. We started out doing it, and that was a little too difficult. So here's a screen that Judy Kuhns put together, and these were the concepts that students had the most difficulty with: indexing, reference sources, Boolean operators, truncation. We did go through them and decide, we'll see this later on, that there were some concepts like indexing, which is important, but maybe not as important for a basic introduction to information literacy. That's more about database design and understanding how to be a really good searcher. But so anyway, this is what we started out with in the fall. And then the librarians got together, and each was assigned different topics, and then they would find media that related to those topics that they thought was good. And we met a few times and reviewed, this one is clear, this one isn't. And then Judy Capurso created, and I have in that box, like Module 1 concept videos. So the course has 4 modules. So each module had videos that related to those concepts that you just saw that we felt students were weak on. So this one is on Boolean operators, which students really struggle with. And here again, this is Module 3, and you can see the media on the other side. So then we ran the report again a year later, and this is what we found. And the data is really difficult to look at from my point of view. I'm not sure. We saw some improvement. We saw, like with Boolean operators, it's basically the same. And these are really good videos. And it just, we have not broken through on some topics. But I think in 4 cases, there was some improvement. In some cases, they did worse. And why is that?
Do you know for sure if the students were watching the videos?
No, we don't. We talk about it, we ask them to do it, but we don't have a count, or we don't have something that says, if have you viewed the video, you can't go on to the next step, something like that. So no, I don't know that they did see them, which is something, because I was sort of going to say this at the end, but one of the wonderful things of these mini grants is the solutions, but also the questions that they raise. This is by no means the stopping point for us. We realize that we have to continue. So the complicating factors in looking at our numbers is we threw out 2 of the concepts. We said, it's just, we're misguided here. Earlier it was important. We don't think it's as important now. And in some cases, because what this did is we really looked at everything and we rewrote parts of it. Some of the questions were changed. Not not in their content, but in their wording, because once you thought it was a bad question, worded poorly, we couldn't just leave it. So how scientific our data comparison is maybe in question. So anecdotally, the instructors were very supportive, liked having the video, found it helpful, and some of the in-class instructors are also using them. The scores improved in 4 of the 6 concepts, although sometimes it was very minor, the improvement. And as I said, with some concepts, they are just, we just didn't see an improvement. And I've had this idea that maybe, I've asked Jules, one of the math teachers, maybe they could do a video on Boolean operators for us, because we're not getting through to the students on that one. The impact of the grant, I mean, we have looked at this course endlessly, and really it just made us want to do more with it. And I guess the biggest thing is it came at a time when, I'm looking at Cornelia, when we were doing all this assessment. So then we took this idea and did it for all of our learning outcomes. And this really came first, although it's a long time ago, and that's how we got the idea to assess our learning outcomes. So that was very useful, and we will continue to do that because it's automated, which is nice. Also, Nick Lynchard has designed his own Library 111 and is now teaching it online. So that has been good, and his is totally different, which I think is a positive. He's coming at it from a researcher's perspective instead of a librarian's, which I think is really useful. And we're now redesigning. Our goal, Judy Capurso's goal for next year, is to redesign the online version of Library 111. And it's having gone through all of this that has given us a lot of new thoughts.